Welcome back, and thank you for making us part of your Friday morning. Tax deadline has come and gone. Did you get it done? If not, don't panic. Gilmore, Jason, Mahler, CPA Charlie Heid is here to help. Charlie, I'm guessing you're going to say don't do nothing.
Yeah, I am going to say that. That is the worst thing people can do, is bury their head in the sand and just hope it all goes away. That is not the way we want to handle this.
Well, first of all, there are some penalties, right, if you file late?
Yeah, and there's two types of penalties. There's the late payment penalty and the late filing penalty. So the late filing is going to be, that's the big one. That's 5% of the tax that you owe for each month the return is late. So it adds up quickly. And then if you filed but you didn't have money, so you just didn't pay, there's a penalty for late payment, and that's 0.5% of unpaid tax for each month until the tax is paid. And it can go up quickly, because if you get a notice from the IRS that you haven't paid, it's now 1% of the unpaid tax per month. So that's where people get in trouble. And on top of all this, you're getting hit with interest on both the tax and the penalties. So it's important that people address this, because that's when you hear about people got themselves into a big bind and they couldn't get themselves out. It's because of these penalties and the interest that add up onto the tax that you already owed.
Yeah, that stuff adds up really quickly. I know when we moved to Ohio, we didn't know there was like a school tax on top of some other things. We were new to all of that and didn't file something, and yeah, we got hit with interest pretty good once the tax department figures it out and sends you the bill, and you're like, oh man, it hurts. So is there any recourse for people who owe tax and are penalized for missing that deadline?
There is. You can request the IRS to possibly abate or reduce the penalties. You can use what's called a reasonable clause. And basically what you're going in, and you have a circumstance that was beyond your control. And think like, hey, my house burned down 2 weeks before the deadline and all my records were destroyed. Or you had a serious illness that didn't allow you to file on time. You had other things on your mind. Those are the types of things that the IRS will work with you on, those to abate penalties or reduce the penalties. You're still going to owe the interest on the unpaid tax, and that's a time value of money issue. You had the money, they didn't, so they're going to charge you interest.
Mm-hmm. So it's not a good reason because you just didn't have the money.
It is not a good reason. That is not going to work for you. And then the other thing there is, if you've been really good in the past as far as filing on time, paying your taxes on time, there is a one-time ability to ask the IRS, because of your past record, to abate the penalty for this one time. And I'd encourage people to take advantage of those. Don't just ignore it, but reach out to the IRS and work with them. And you can also do payment plans. If you go out to the IRS website, it's very clear. There's you can do a payment plan or an installment agreement with the IRS. So you're going to pay off your debt, and those penalties, they assess you over a period of time, just like people handle their credit cards, and they pay it off, is over a period of time. The key is, you got to do something, because if just doing nothing, you are going to create a mess for yourself that it's going to be awful hard to get out of.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll just keep piling up. So you gotta reach out to the IRS, make some effort here to get something planned, to get something in the works going. Charlie, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it, and hopefully you could take a little bit of a breather here now that tax season is officially over.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Yeah, take care.